to the show. It's one of those things. So we talk weeklies after the talk on
Absolutely.
WPP MLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregan and Beautiful.
Lauren Sizzle.
And we're here. We talk weekly. And as we were about to go into a quick conversation, Lauren Sizzle was talking about a little bit of what how her day was going. So go ahead, Sizzle, tell me how your day was. And for those who don't really understand missions, why don't you give us a little background on what that is?
Yeah, so I was just saying that my aunt Teresa Settle, she has a ministry, and she does a mission, and she travels to um, impoverished cities, and she does missions over there, missionary work.
Right.
And she was doing a fundraiser today to kind of raise money for the missions that she does. And she's so faithful. She's been doing it for years. She travels over to Haiti and India and different places where it's really, really bad. And she was just showing pictures about how bad it is over there, and
Wow.
was describing how she sees some of the families, and they live in these little huts that are is just pretty much like you just take these little huts and make them, and sometimes it rains and
Mm-hmm.
then it may wash the whole hut away, and then you have several people that live in these huts and their home is just washed away.
Wow.
So it really makes you just appreciate the things that you have, and just to be grateful. I know, we complain about, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have enough
Yeah.
money to pay my mortgage and all
True.
these
True.
things, but some of these people don't even have homes. So, and they don't have, well, they installed their fourth water well in India, I believe, and they didn't even have drinking water.
Wow.
So I need to fix my lips before I begin to complain about something like I don't have this or that or whatever. Like
Yeah.
but I'm just so proud of her and the work that she's doing, and just something, just supporting something that's going to a worthy cause is. But that was pretty much my day, attending that. And
No doubt. Kudos
um,
to the folks, man, doing that good old work. Yeah. So before we start complaining about the type of water we don't want to drink, hey, it's no Evian, it's no Essentia. We need to think about people who don't
yes,
even have that water to be able to have, that the option to choose what water they even want to purchase, right? And so no doubt, no doubt.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
how was
So
your day?
it was long. It was long, 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 long. Moving from store to store, moving from issue to issue, drama to drama.
Mhm.
So it's all good. It's one of those things. But
Yes,
one thing I am excited for is that we got our interview coming up. So next up, we got someone
absolutely.
with whom I have a tremendous amount of respect for. Lawrence says, why don't you let us know who do we have today? Who do we have today?
So we have the amazing Mr. Christopher Starr, the visionary founder and CEO of CSP Music Group, has led the company through 25 years of remarkable achievements in the music industry. Under his guidance, CSP Music Group has established a legacy of success with numerous chart topping records that underscore its impact and influence the music scene. So, CSP Music Group is distinguished by its innovative approach to artist financing, offering an industry first line of credit up to $50,000. This initiative empowers artists to utilize the company's wide range of facilitating their growth and success in the music scene. The team at CSP Music Group, with their collective record sales surpassing the hundreds of millions, demonstrates a wealth of experience and a proven track record of success. Christopher Starr's ventures span beyond his music roots into real estate, an arena where he channels his intrinsic business savvy. His dual path journey in music and real estate is a testament to his adaptability and vision, solidifying his reputation as an influential leader with a broadening horizons for success. Please, everybody, give a warm We Talk Weekly welcome to Mr. Christopher Starr.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. How are you, my friend?
I'm well. Thank you for the warm welcome. I appreciate it. It's nice to be here with you guys.
Oh man, we
Thank
super
you.
excited to have you on the show. Before we do anything, we normally ask our guest. How was your day, my friend? How was your day? How are you doing?
Doing well. Can't complain. It's been a productive day to say the least.
Fantastic, fantastic. So let's jump right into it, man. You have been helping many of artists, and I think that's one of the things that. And I want to ask you a question real quick. I didn't
Hmm.
want to start with this, but I'm curious. The idea of artist development doesn't seem like it's there now, right? It
Yes.
was this whole thing with. I remember you had to reach out, and then you had to get with the A&R, and then you had artist development, and then you had to do this and do that. Now it just seems like people are just kind of, jumping over that piece and just jumping into the space. What's your thoughts on that, and why do you think that's happening?
Well, I think because of the technology has allowed artists to basically release records unconditionally. They can just do what they want and release it right away. And that has had an impact on the industry tremendously because
Yeah.
the quality of music now, even with artists, has actually decreased a bit.
Yeah.
There's been a time where you used to be able to put on your album and listen from the beginning to the end
That's
and
right.
get a sense of who that artist is. And nowadays, you really can't do that because it's like an eclectic album or whatever, and single, even when they're dropping singles, they're so diverse from the last single. You really can't get a sense of who that artist is. So artist development has been kind of a lost art, as you kind of explained. And that's where we come in. And we're really excited about the platform and being able to offer the services to artists across the board.
And I'm glad that you say that because we're going to get into that because I think, I had an opportunity to look through, your website and some of the people who you worked with, and you work with some A-list artists, which is amazing. And so that's a testament to the work, that you have been putting in and your wealth of background. So, so as you talked a little bit about, how different this space is, we literally have, this conversation based around like AI music now. So I'm sure that's really different in your space. So how do you know, work with and even, just not too long ago we had, auto tunes, right? That was a big thing, and then we're going into, you didn't have a Michael Jackson on auto tunes, Beyonce on auto tunes, right? And so, we started to understand that that's innovation or that's new. Do you think, with your professional background and knowledge, do you think this whole AI, infrastructure has its, do you believe that it's going to make a way in the music? Do you think that's something we're going to get used to? Or do you think that's just kind of like something that may be a trend and then we're going to get over that, so to speak?
Yeah, well, here's the thing about technology, and I embrace technology. I think we all have to embrace it because we really can't get around it. But I think musically, the more we focus on delivering quality content, it's gonna challenge that whole AI thing. I think
Right.
that we gotta just really stay focused on delivering what we can deliver as people, to put the best product out there. And I think that'll kind of soften that blow with the artificial stuff that's coming out now.
Right, right, right. So let's jump right into CSP Music Group, right? Let's talk a little bit about what inspired you, right, to start such a dynamic background like that. Just a company that's there to not only support, right, and embrace, because I think a lot of companies, you know, it's this idea of, well, we just want your money, make money off of you, and you keep it going, you on your own type of thing, right? But it looks as if your company is in there from the long haul, right? From the beginning to the end and supporting the artists. And so what inspired you to create such a dynamic organization?
By watching, as I was at labels and watching the advantage that labels had on artists, it led me to figure out a way to create a company, which is a passion of mine. This is an evolution of what I've seen very early on, with being able to provide services to artists and make those services equal to any major label. So it was really exciting to put together a campaign of services that any artist can have an advantage of taking advantage of. So yeah, that was my approach. It was just one of those passion projects where I saw a need in the industry and listening to artists what their needs are and being able to create a service that provided that.
Fantastic.
So you talked about, or you've said that your spiritual foundation is what kind of led you into music to begin with. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, I think that, with anything, I think you definitely need support and guidance and a foundation. Faith is the evidence of something hoped for, and the substance of what's hoped for and evidence of what's not seen. So you have to have faith going through this mission of anything you do in life. And I think that, when you apply that to the music industry, and even with my walk, I really had to use that as my guide and stay focused, and where I was going with it. So that's a big part of what I use to keep my support going, because it's not going to be sunshine every day. It's not going to be everything's, you're going to come across some adversities, and you got to really have faith in knowing how to get through those adversities. And sometimes you can't see past the next day. So, you got what you have to go through it, and some people end up quitting, but that just gives you that doesn't lead you where you want to go. So I've never been a quitter at something that I feel so passionate about. I go through it. So
I like that you said that. We often talk. This platform is solutions based, right? And we always try our best to work through or amplify those voices, right? And often we hear artists, entertainers, business people, business folk, that they say sometimes they reach that moment where they just want to give up, know, and you mentioned that you're not a quitter, right? And so what is that power? What would you say to someone who's watching that, might be at the end of their rope, so to speak, that feel like they want to give up? What would you say to them?
It's so cliche to say keep going, but and that's difficult for a lot of people because they are faced with what they're faced with. And, I think that you really have to just embrace that and continue to push forward and know that it's whenever there's bad things going on, it's only seasonal. We're given a time for happiness. We're given a time for sadness. We're given a time for joy, whatever, but that is a season as well that we have to go through. Everybody has to face that. And if you allow that to break you, then you're just going to, be disappointed, trying to do it in another journey as well. So you have to keep going and stay focused on it.
Right. I'm going to throw you a little curveball real quick because I'm looking at your background and I'm seeing a wonderful, like the high rises and you right next to the window, man. And look, you got a nice spot right there. What's that cityscape behind you? Let's talk a little bit about that real quick. That looks great. Yeah.
We're located, my headquarters we are located in 3 different cities, Minneapolis, Las Vegas, and Atlanta. I'm in Buckhead in the financial district of Atlanta. So we're right by Lenox Mall. It's right across the street from Lenox Mall and Phipps Plaza.
Wow, fantastic. What is that energy like? I mean, different cities, what is the energy like in the different cities that you're located?
And there's a different energy, in each one of the cities. But I think what you do is look for what you tap into. You connect with what you connect with. And that's what I do when I go to different cities and speak with clients and whatnot. I tap into what we're focused on. So the energy of the city will impact it somewhat, but you have a mission. So you stay focused on that mission.
CSP Music Group is known for its innovation and artist financing. And I want you to talk a little bit more about that. One of the challenges that a lot of artists have is trying to get that credit, trying to get financing to use it for, if not their brand, if not for, marketing, if not for, just looking the part, so to speak, maybe engineering. And, why did you say that we wanted to specialize in this particular sector of artist support?
Well, a lot of artists have a desire to be in the business and don't have the finances that it would take to connect with elite services and people in the business. They may be able to go to book a regular studio and whatnot, but they may not be able to get to the same type of studios that the majors are recording in. And I wanted to provide an outlet where they can have a line of credit available to them through the process of our in-house line of credit, and be able to apply for that and get approved and be able to have access to elite services and people that they normally wouldn't have the access to.
So when they come on board, can you walk me through how that works? So say, for example, I'm an artist, I'm a, I guess local hip hop, or maybe I'm a musician and I come to you and I'm like, yo, I have this and you like what I do. Walk me through the process of how you guys work with the artist.
So the first step, they would fill out an artist wanted form, which is the acquisition process.
Got
Once
you.
that form is completed, they will then meet with a representative to basically go over the services that they're looking for, and then be offered other services that we feel that they're having a gap in their campaign, so to speak. We then put together a proposal, send it over to them. They like the proposal, we basically send over a service agreement and start the process. So it's really, really simple and quick to get the process going. I mean, approvals usually get done within a couple of days, if not short.
Oh
Soon.
wow. Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Wow, that's
Wow.
awesome. And you've been. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go
Sir.
ahead. Oh, no, I was just going to say you've been, leading the company for the last 25 years.
Yeah.
Is there a difference that you've seen in artists and artistry from the time that you began up until now?
Yeah, there's a difference. I think that a lot of what's going on, artists are just becoming more free with being able, like I said earlier, to release type of material,
Yeah.
projects without any guidance. And I think that the quality is starting to drop. But what's exciting about this whole thing now is that a lot of executives have been talking more about artist development. And I think that's going to put the light on, going back and really, honing in and taking photos and understanding who the artist is. I used to ask artists all the time, what separates you from another artist doing exactly what you do? And
Yeah.
I would
Right.
actually question that. And I said, you got 3 seconds to answer this question in 3 words or less. And majority of the time, they got this wrong. So I would put up money to say, if you get this answer right, you can have whatever I put up in front of you. And I've never lost yet. So
Wow.
I'm glad at that. But the answer was, it's your story, and I think that a lot of artists are not telling the story or not understanding that they need to tell their story and let that be the part that embraces with their fans and people that are following them. So
where
it's
does
about the story.
so where does that get lost in translation then? What do you think is going on in the culture where, they believe that, or they don't necessarily feel like they have a story? Because that could be a situation, right? I don't necessarily have a story. I just am,
Yeah,
What do
exactly.
you think that is?
I think that they're not focused on the fact that it doesn't matter how grand or how minuscule that story is, it's
Right.
still your story. And if you
Gotcha.
tell it the way that it's supposed to be told, and have the guidance of someone developing that with you, it'll resonate to the audience that you're trying to get to.
100%. 100%. Do you see any difference from the way artists used to be to how they are today?
I think they all have the same desire, but yeah, there's a difference in a sense. I think it goes back to not having that guidance and not having that development that used to be a focus before, and now it's just not there.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
worked
And
with.
I think that's
Go ahead.
I think that's just so important because now you have artists that are coming out and you have the Lil Babies, you have the Kendrick Lamars, where their story is just, it makes them become so politically involved
Mhm.
that it just, resonates with more than just the people that listen to them. It's like they've been through so many different things that a lot of people from different walks of life could relate to. So I think that's so
Mhm.
important that they are, telling their stories.
Exactly. Major artists are doing it right. They understand the development process,
Yeah.
but a lot of the independents don't understand that they need to focus on that story as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think that's a result of independent thinking, that they're truly independent and going by way of, say, for example, I don't know. I think YouTube has something that supports kind of like an independent artist. They're not actually going through the machine, so to speak, to understand that piece of it. Do you think
Right.
that plays a major part in it? I mean,
does.
people are becoming. I mean, you have artists becoming successful literally overnight now. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of support out there for artists to basically invest into these companies who basically give them a bunch of impressions and numbers, but they're
Right.
not really, being seen the way they want to be seen. So when they try to contact a promoter or someone to really embrace them, they don't have the foundation there.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's important. That what you're bringing up, because a lot of artists just don't have that.
Right. Yeah, because it's some artists now. Because today, I mean, you used to have like an agent, you had a manager, right?
Yeah.
You had a booking manager, you had a road manager, you had all of these things. Now people just kind of doing it themselves or whatever, right? And so for someone that might come to you and say, I already have this level of success. I'm already booking shows, I guess, locally, and you know, and they come to you, then what would be the selling point, or do you even feel the need to sell yourself? Is it something that you particularly look for in new artists to say, I'm comfortable and this is what I want to work with, or work who I want to work with? Yeah.
Yeah, what I look for in an artist is basically their passion. I think their passion is what's going to drive their mission, and then of trying to find out where they're trying to go. You know, we have to first of all outline their goals. That's number one. Once we outline their goals, then we can figure out how to get them to where they want to go. But yeah, it's important to know for artists to figure out that they need support. They need that type of guidance, and it takes a team to do it.
Yeah. You've recorded sales of over $100 million. You know, is the sales different now? Because now we're looking at streams versus, say, for example, hard albums, right? Going platinum back then. You know, I think I've seen or read something that said how what Michael Jackson was back then, the equivalent would be, it was something crazy, like him going platinum, and the amount of fame and celebrity that he had back then no one can even fathom the equivalent today, right? And so where are we today? And I guess I'm still digging in that, because it's just a completely different space. We don't think of hard albums, right? You sell 1 million copies of hard albums where you had an A side and a B side, right? We don't necessarily have that anymore. We don't have something that you can sit in and, listen to, the whole album, flip it over, wait for the other. Oh, I know they're telling me something. We don't have that anymore, right? Yeah, and so where are we today? Like we in this weird space. This conversation of you, say, for example, on a panel, how would you talk to these people?
It's interesting. I think it comes back down to the development process again. It's really about that. As long as artists are being guided by people and individuals who understand from the old school how to lead them through the process, they can really get further along. But it's interesting. It's at an interesting time. That's why it's really exciting for me, because I'm looking to find artists who are really passionate about what they're trying to do and get behind them and support them on that mission. That's what CSP is about.
Fantastic. So all the artists, when you watch this, when you watch it back, make sure you reach out to Christopher Starr. He got you,
Yes.
And so is it something specific? Like, are you targeting a particular genre of music or a particular artist? Like, what is the perfect, air quotes, the perfect artist for you?
Someone who's focused, driven, dedicated, and understand that it's going to take a team and time to develop. So I'm not focused on the genre. If it's a hit record, I can't be biased about it as an executive. I have to look at it and can't be like, okay, well, I listen to this style of music or that style of music. It's not about me. It's about them. And if they believe in themselves, then I can help them get them to where they want to be. That's with our team.
I know that's right. You need to be a public speaker. You getting everybody excited. I'm about to start playing an instrument or something, right? And so let's move a little forward, because I appreciate you, giving a background of the company and talking a little bit about how it's developing and where you're going. Another piece that I read about you is the real estate piece, right? The real estate sector that you're jumping into. Can you expand a little bit about the real estate piece and how you incorporate in what you're actually doing right now?
Yeah. So I'm more on the investor side. I like to find properties and turn them into developments, develop those properties. So it's almost the same thing we do with an artist, so to speak. We find artists who are fresh and young and just want to get involved and have that passion and getting to where they want to go and taking them there. So it's the same thing with real estate. It's just one of those ventures that I'm excited about. I've been dabbling around with it for some years now and starting to get a little bit more interested further into it now.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna pull you up one more again, because the background is giving me vibes right now. I love it. It's getting dark, so you can tell like it's getting really nice out there. It's so
it looks like A
Go
good
ahead.
time.
I
You
know,
guys.
right? It looks like, yeah, night on. So why don't you tell me real quick, what's a day in the life of Christopher Starr? What does your day look like? Once you wake up, like what is your routine, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it depends. I mean, sometimes I have to travel. I travel a lot. I do travel a lot. Um,
Mm.
so it depends if I'm going to be local or if I'm going to be moving around. But typically, I meet with a lot of clients or artists who are looking to break into the business, and so we meet with them on a face-to-face level. We try to do it as much as possible and help them with their vision. You know, I'm at the office most of the time. Sitting here talking to people and helping them develop.
Yeah, yeah,
We do
yeah.
photo shoots, graphic design. We do all kinds of services with them. So sometimes I'm at the studio, sometimes I'm at photo studios, on video sets. We're all over the place.
Oh, fantastic. And it's,
It
wh-
depends.
yeah, I love that. I love that. How do you, when you think of your roadmap, right?
Mhm.
What do you see in the future, like from where you are in the development, like where, you know, after you answer like where you believe you're going, I want to know what's the legacy you would like to leave.
Yeah, I love that question because I love what Motown and a lot of these other greats have. They have legacies of legends in the industry, and I see that with how the music industry has evolved and changed over the years, those type of things are still accomplishable to be able to do that. And I'm hoping that we can touch on enough artists and developing and getting them out there the right way and have that same type of legacy going forward. So I really look forward to that type of thing. We are also working with different record labels on getting artists signed. So
Mm.
we want to be a part of that journey with them.
Fantastic,
Mhm.
fantastic.
Mhm.
Where do we see when you think of yourself and you think of other companies in comparison, right? And that's not to pit you against another organization, but what do you see that makes you kind of like the question that you ask an artist, what makes you stand out? What is your story?
My approach is more so, by focusing on what the artist is needing. I think that we actually have a unique way of approaching the industry by first of all allowing them a line of credit, which I've never seen before, and then
Mm-hmm.
of course going through the long haul with an artist. We're not here just to help you get a single out and get on the charts. We're here to take you from where you are to where you want to be and be there as a supportive uh, process and the journey of it. So I'm not sure if there's a lot of companies out there that's going the long haul with artists. We really lock in on their vision and understanding their story and really help them and support them on the way of getting there.
No, I appreciate you doing that because artists go through phases, right? You can, you know, uh,
Mhm.
you can think of how someone like, who can I think of how 50 Cent kind of started to where he is today. He's like a businessman. You thought
Mhm.
50 Cent, you thought drama, oh my God. But now I mean, you can consider him kind of like the next, I don't want to say Spike Lee, but Tyler Perry, right? Because he jumped in a different venture or a different scope of what he has been doing from how he started. And so is that kind of like the roadmap you use for your artists, like, working with them over the long term? We're not just talking about you putting out music, but we're talking about your brand, we're talking about your merch. What is it in terms of expansive thinking with the artist do you concentrate on?
Depending on what they're trying to do, a lot of artists are coming in the door that are new at this, and we
Yeah, the
focus on
green.
building a
Yeah,
brand,
I'm
getting them
sure.
going. But then, of course, as they develop, we've got artists like I know who's been on your show, MC Nice, who is
Yeah,
is doing
that's
all
my guy.
kinds of
Hold
things.
on, give him a round of applause. That's my guy right
Yes.
there.
He's evolved in
Yes.
so many different sectors in the industry with food and everything else. So
Yeah.
we're there to support them all along the way as much as we can do to help with them and their vision. We're there to support them.
Yeah, yeah. Which, by the way,
Do-
send me my seasoning. I'm
seasoning.
still waiting for my seasoning. MC Nice, send me my seasoning, no doubt. No, kudos to you.
Do you see do you see your company expanding to other areas? I know you're in 3 now, but in the future, maybe in the
Yeah.
next couple years.
Yeah, I know. We get a lot of people from the East Coast, the northern portion of the East Coast.
Nah.
So we're looking at going back into New York. Before COVID happened, we were planning to go there and have an office there as well. But now we're looking at probably establishing that. Depending on, we're trying to get where everybody's at. At
Yeah,
least
yeah.
in the region at least.
I love that. What do
Yeah,
you?
come on over this way
I
because I
know,
know you
right?
said Atlanta. I was like, wait, that's not that close.
Yeah, yeah. Come on over here in Philly. Have some fun. Cheesesteak, right? so, what do you do to wind down? What do you do to wind down after working with all the artists and you're giving yourself to everyone else? What do you do to give yourself some solace?
Doing what I do is exactly that. So I love what I do.
Nope, you cheating. Nope, I don't want you to cheat. I don't want you to cheat.
I actually have a passion for this. If I don't see myself going on a vacation and not doing what I'm doing already, I'll be on my laptop, and that's enjoying to me.
Yeah.
So it's not work to me. It's not work. This is exactly what I envisioned early on when I was just getting started and having my opportunity to do things like this. This is what I've seen that I wanted to do. So this is where the fun is.
I love that. This is one of the. This is a special question that I give to all my guests. So you got to dig deep here, right? I want you to dig all the way in your briefcase, and I want you to tell us the one thing. They call it a Snapple fact, right? But I want you to tell us the one thing no one else knows about Christopher Starr that you could tell us today. Snapple fact.
That's interesting. No one else knows. I think so. I don't know. I love to eat.
Okay.
I like different foods. I like to try different things and love to travel. I don't know. It's I'm trying to think of something that no one knows though.
Yeah, you gotta dig deep on this one. This is one of those questions that always get people stuck. Everyone knows about me. They always get that. Well, everyone knows about me. That one thing. Yeah.
Let's see, what do I like to do? That something that I like that no one else
knows. Or what's 3 things on your bucket list?
3 things on my bucket list. One of them is to develop this company into a worldwide, international company. We work with artists all over the world. Of course, to keep the faith. That's another one. I gotta stay grounded and focus on on that mission. A third one. I guess travel.
Okay.
Travel. I enjoy travel.
Okay. I was waiting for skydiving or something.
No. I'm not taking
But
chances.
those are all good things. Yeah, those are all great things. I know that you're gonna do those things, so.
Absolutely. Thank you.
No doubt. And so before we let you go, and I had a great time with this interview. One of the things we try to do on We Talk Weekly is give a platform to those educators, to those entertainers, to those who look like us, that's part of our community, that's doing some amazing things, right? And so when we talk about amplifying Black voices, I think there's another lane that we don't necessarily have to go in. It's enough of the noise over there, and then it's enough of the academics over there, and I think we fall in this nice little center, this medium where we're amplifying Black voices. We talk about Black excellence and give them a platform to talk about that and uplift everyone else who might potentially be watching, right? And so I want you to kind of give a last word before I ask you my last question, but I want you to give like a last word for that group of excellence that may be watching you and is inspired by you. What would you tell someone and give them like a last word?
One of the things I noticed I had to do is surround myself by people who love and support my vision. I think that when you have individuals around you, you basically get the life sucked out of you, and you won't surpass that. So surround yourself by people who care and love and support your vision, and stay grounded with the Most High. And I think things will evolve from there. Keep the faith.
Oh my God! Let me give you a round of applause. Let me tell you something.
I love that.
Because I wanted to. I'm glad you said it. One of the things I tell people all the time, being a sucker is contagious, and people will zap your greatness from you. Like,
Yeah.
stay away from those leeches, those ticks that jump on you and just suck the lifeblood out of you, right?
Right. Right.
Surround yourself around like-minded people, some great people, because you're going to start thinking great, right?
That's
You know,
that's
they
right.
say people can tell you, what's this? It's like a saying, I could tell who you are by the people you're around, that type of thing, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
And so
Yes.
you want to
Yeah.
make sure that you're around people who are challenging you and inspiring you to be great, right? Somebody give you a
Right.
round of they give you a round of applause. Shout out to Anthony, right? And so it's one of those things, that that's good to hear. So why don't you let everyone know how they can get in contact with you, where they can find you, all of that good old information. Because I think, with the platform that you're giving, or the resource that you're giving, I think is needed, and it's kind of like a lost art, because I don't think people
Mhm.
are thinking that way anymore, right?
Yes.
They
Right.
they're on their iPhones, they're on their galaxies, and they get a little fame from, say for example, Snapchat, TikTok, or IG, right? They
Hmm.
start buzzing on those platforms. Oh, cool. Okay, so I can get my streams up. They start thinking streams, and that's where it stops,
Right. Right. Right.
right? And so I don't think they think they need someone like you, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so I think this is people will be able to look at this and say, or get an aha moment,
Hmm.
like, I didn't think of it. I didn't know that I need someone like, like like a PR person, like Leslie, like, yo, I need to be international. How do I become international? People need to see me internationally.
Right.
Contact me. They don't know that I
Mhm.
need an agent or someone like yourself that can walk you through a full process. They don't even understand legal. That's one
Right.
of the things we didn't talk about, legal.
That's
That you
true.
can assist them
Mhm.
with, in terms of, yo, you gotta get some stuff cleared. If
That's
not, you could
right.
be sued.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
That's
And so
right.
I think you give, they need people like you. One more again, why don't you, because I want people to see this again. Tell them, if you was to give yourself a USP, a sales pitch, a elevator's pitch, how would you describe your company? What would you say to someone who's watching as a clip?
So basically, come to CSP when you want to get your services in order. We basically provide services to artists, and the beautiful thing about it, they're going to be on the par of a major label, as opposed to you're going to every other outlet to try to get these things done. You can get them done under one roof. We do everything across the board, from your production, mixing, mastering, photo shoot, graphic designs, you name it, across the board. Even when it comes down to booking and promotion and touring and social media support, PR, you name it. It's a one-stop shop, and we have the good thing about it. There's Grammy Award winning people who are going to be assisting you with these services, so they understand the industry. It's a full collective service of people that's going to be providing that for you.
I love that. And that's another thing I left out. You're
Mhm.
touring, right? You want to
Hmm.
start touring, you want to know the venues to go to, how to get there, how to get your bag. After you make your tour, the venues.
Hmm.
Are you going in a venue that's safe? Are you going to an official venue? It's a lot of things that new artists don't know. And I think they need to make sure that they reach out to someone like you, so you can
Yeah.
give them that information. One more time, how can they get in contact with you and all that good old stuff?
The best way to look us up, you can Google cspmusicgroup.com, go to Google, or find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you name it. It's all under CSP Music Group. So it's really easy to find.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, my friend, it was an
Mhm.
absolute pleasure to have you on the show. And one thing that we say in the show is, once you come to the show, you're a friend to the show, so you're always welcome to come back.
Thank
When
you.
we start to talk, maybe we do an industry night where we're talking to new artists, have them call in and ask you a question, stuff like that. I
Absolutely.
think that would be
Mhm.
important. But I want to continue the success. I want to continue to support the things that you're doing. People are going to need people like you, and I
Mhm.
wish you much success and prosperity, my friend. And again, you're always a friend to the show, so we want to thank you for coming out. And yo, one more again, how can I get in contact with you?
cspmusicgroup.com.
There you go. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your boy Charles Gerg with the beautiful.
Lauren Sizzle.
And we had a dynamic gentleman with whom we have a tremendous amount of respect for. A dynamic interview. Make sure you run this back so you can get all that information. He dropped some jewels today, y'all. Christopher Starr is definitely in the building. Thanks for coming out. And we'll be right back on the other side, y'all. Don't go nowhere.
What's going on, you guys? This is Bridget Kelly, and you are locked into We Talk Weekly.
Talk Weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory the Beautiful.
Lauren Sizzle.
Listen, that was interesting, right? Because all of the things that he said, I didn't think how much that's needed today.
It really is. It really is. Yeah, because I was really thinking about a lot of the artists that have come out now saying how they have been basically screwed over by the industry and they're now broke and bankrupt, and they're coming out with documentaries saying how they were, robbed from their labels. So it just really, wasn't structured in the same manner that this one is, to where it's more of a benefit to the artist. And I love that it basically offers a mentorship. Because a lot of these artists come into the game and they know absolutely nothing about business.
Yeah, that's true. They know how to make it bag. They know how to make music. But just, most of us, unfortunately, I won't say unfortunately, most of us are creatives, right? And so as creatives, we're not thinking of the money part. All we really want to do is create.
Right.
That's all we want to do. We artists. All we want to do is just, we take our stuff personal. We serious about our stuff, right?
Exactly.
We're not thinking of the business side of that, how to get clear, how to get stuff copyrighted, right? We don't think about that. That's something else I didn't say. How do I copyright my stuff, my content, right? Make sure someone else doesn't take my stuff, right?
Right. And you mentioned the AI, and you got that's being used. So they're trying to create laws for AI to where the artist content remains their content.
Right.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, man. And so but kudos to Mr. Christopher. Shout out to him. Definitely something that you guys want to think about as you develop as artists. You want to get with people who are supporting you as artists, that allows you to just focus on your art. You don't want to have to focus on you yourself. I'm talking about you yourself. You don't want to have to focus on your art, your bag, your legal, your copyright, your tours. You're getting the bag from your tours, where to travel. You don't want to have to worry about all of that. You want somebody to kind of take care of that yourself. You need a manager. You want somebody so you don't have to talk on the phone. They'll talk on the phone for you. Like this is the stuff that we don't think about when you get that overnight success, which sometimes happens.
That's just so important now.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we going into the sizzle. We ready?
Yeah, we can go into the sizzle.
No doubt. All right, no doubt. Give me the sizzle.
So make sure you guys subscribe to We Talk Weekly on all social media and podcast platforms.
Right.
Like, follow, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. And if you want to support us, you can make a donation to Cash App $ We Talk Weekly.
Yeah, let me put that up there, as they say. One more again. Talk a little bit. Say that one more again.
So you want to support us and what we do, you can make a donation. No donation is too small or too great. Go to Cash App and make a donation to $ We Talk Weekly.
Yeah, no doubt. Holla at me. Yep.
All right. So, President Biden signed the bill into law that could be the end of TikTok. ByteDance, and we've been kind of talking about this over the last few weeks or so now, but ByteDance, the Chinese company that owns TikTok, must either sell it or it could be banned in 9 months. So, Soldier Boy is saying when that law was signed, when the bill was signed, he was like, I can't believe y'all just gonna let them ban TikTok like that, and y'all think it's funny. If they do that to this app, then they could do it to any app or site. It's not cool for real. Y'all will see later. So next thing you know, Soldier Boy is putting in his bids to buy the platform that holds over 170 million users in the US. So he said he ran into TMZ, and they were asking about him saying after he put it out there that he was interested in buying it. And he was like, yeah, I'm definitely interested in buying TikTok. CEO, holla at your boy. The CEO of TikTok, holla at your boy. Make a phone call. Get on the line. Let's talk about it. Let's work a deal out. So Soldier Boy, a lot of people have been saying he likely does not have the money to pay for that app, which has been valued at $50 billion.
Yeah, his money ain't that long. He got a couple dollars, I heard, but it ain't that long. Ain't TikTok.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and I've been seeing his net worth kind of estimated all over the place from like 25 million to 30 million. So, and then he reportedly has debts that he owes to the government. So I'm almost sure that he will not be purchasing TikTok. So
they want 100 million. They want at the very least 100 million for that.
That is crazy. Valued at 50 billion.
Yeah, maybe I shot too low.
What you think about that though? Do you feel like that's like insane, or is it like worth it?
TikTok? Yeah, it's definitely worth. TikTok is probably the number 3 platform. I think Facebook. Okay. I think Facebook is first. Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I think it's like that. I can look it up. Okay. Yeah. Or next X is X or something like that. I'll look it up. Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, but I don't know. I was just saying 50 billion. I don't know about that. Because then you think about the Snapchats and all that, and how much was Snapchat valued at its prime. But anyway, so after putting out tailor-made freestyle Kendrick Lamar diss track laced with AI verses from rappers Snoop Dogg and the late Tupac Shakur, Drake is in some hot water with the estate of Tupac Shakur. So Tupac's estate sent Drake a cease and desist letter demanding that he discontinue any further usage of the track and remove it from all platforms. So according to the letter sent by the estate's attorney, they called the diss track a blatant abuse of the legacy of one of the greatest hip hop artists of all time. So the state says it would have never given Drake its approval for this to be used, especially to be used against Kendrick Lamar, who the estate says is a good friend of the estate. So the letter also goes on to point out the fact that Drake was familiar with the California laws because he used those same laws to sue a much smaller outlet for using his image on a website and forced them to take it down. Meanwhile, Drake has racked up over 1 million streams and has been widely reported, and this song has been widely reported in the national press, publications, and popular entertainment websites. So the estate says this track has given the misconception that the estate and Tupac endorsed the lyrics, and the track is adversely affecting Amaru Entertainment Inc.'s AI projects, which I think I'm pronouncing that right. Amaru, whatever. They own the copyrights to Tupac's recordings. So the letter was sent to Drake on April 24th, and they gave him to 12 p.m. on April 25th to send written notification confirmation that the track was removed from all platforms.
Mm.
So, who do you think is the winner now?
It ain't Drake.
They
Definitely ain't
had
Drake.
him at winning at first when he came out with
Yeah,
that, but now that the estate sent that cease and desist,
that ain't happening.
that's like a that's like a deduction, right? That's like a minus.
Nah, that's a big blow. Cause you got to
Yeah.
remove everything, and if you listen to it, it was trash too. I mean, he could have did better. He didn't need.
Mm-hmm.
Drake is talented
He
enough.
need to add that.
He didn't need to add that, and it's corny. Like I'm just like, oh, why would you put that? And Tupac wouldn't even. You just have to hear it. It didn't sound like anything Tupac
Yeah.
would. So it
Would would
sounded
say
bad. Yeah, it sounded bad because Tupac
it
was writing.
sounded like Drake's words in Tupac's
Yeah,
voice.
yeah. Like he was right for Tupac. Tupac wouldn't let nobody
Right.
write for him.
He would have,
Yeah,
yes. And he would have never said anything like that, like what he
yeah,
was saying.
yeah, no doubt.
But yeah, so I guess he lost after that. All right, so the Celebrity Sizzle Award of the Week goes to Kim Kardashian. Kim met with Vice President Kamala Harris at the White House for a roundtable discussion to talk about criminal justice reform. So her visit came one day after President Biden issued 11 pardons and commuted 5 other sentences of people convicted of nonviolent drug offenses. So also in attendance at the meeting were some of the people pardoned by President Biden. They share their experiences with the criminal justice system, what they had been through, and how they've gone on to start businesses. So Kim Kardashian said, I'm just here to help and spread the word. I'm super honored to be here today to hear your stories. And Kim's criminal justice reform work has extended over the past few years, including meetings with the former president to discuss reform, leading to the First Step Act. So Kim often travels to prisons to meet with inmates to hear their stories. And so far, Biden has commuted 122 sentences and pardoned 20 individuals convicted of non-violent drug offenses.
Wow.
So shout out to Kim Kardashian for continuing in that much needed criminal justice reform work that's aimed at reducing recidivism, repeat offenders, and those who have been harshly punished. Yeah, which a lot of those people that were pardoned, they were sentenced a long time ago when the sentences were a little harsher. Now, if they were sentenced to what they were sentenced to, if they were sentenced today to what they were sentenced back then, they would have got a lesser sentence, which is, went into a lot of the decisions that the president made to pardon some of these people.
Yeah.
So I'm your girl, Lauren Sizzle, and
no, that was a sizzle, no doubt.
And that was a sizzle.
Yeah, no, I just was going to say a couple things first with Kim Kardashian. I appreciate her doing that because, one can argue that she has nothing or she has no clue what's going on. But for her to utilize her platform as big as it is to highlight something that people like us have been fighting for eons, right? Criminal justice reform, the fact that she's doing that is great. So kudos to Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, absolutely. They could say what they want to say about her.
Yeah.
But like the fact that, she uses her platform for a worthy cause is
she really does.
Commendable.
She really does. I'm gonna pull this up real quick. I want to show this because I said that I would search for this. So I want to show everyone top 5. So when we looking at the top 5, I just put up the top 5 search for social platforms. First, we have Facebook. I named that number 1 at 3.5 billion, right? Then we got WhatsApp. I forgot about WhatsApp. We talking about 2.78. YouTube, I forgot. Well, it's hard. I don't usually look at YouTube as a social platform, but it is. I look at that as a video platform, but it is a social platform. That's number 4. Then number 5 is Instagram. WeChat, interesting. That's 6. TikTok, that's 7, and Telegram is 8. Interesting. And so when we think of like those
They
places
have
that,
Facebook as number one.
yeah, of course, yeah, of course, Facebook is definitely number one. Um,
Hmm.
and it's just one of those
That's
things.
great that it's still hanging in there because Facebook was like one of the first.
Yeah, but you gotta remember,
Well,
you gotta
before
remember.
MySpace and
Yeah, of course. You're right. No, MySpace was first, then Facebook.
yeah, I'm saying it was. I meant well, it was after MySpace, but before MySpace was first. I meant.
Right. I think it was called the Facebook or something like that when it first came out. And so when we talk about different platforms, I think, yeah, man, just knowing, just kind of knowing the history behind a lot of stuff and where to concentrate focus. So
Hmm.
TikTok wasn't even on there. And so, but it's rapidly growing, right? So we're talking about
Hmm.
being able to, make some moves, and people are up in arms about it, you know, and it's a lot of alleged argument based around why people believe they're taking that down in terms of freedom of speech, and that's one of the only platforms that I won't say allows 100%, but I've seen a lot of commentary, good, bad, and indifferent, that happens on TikTok that isn't necessarily allowed on IG and Facebook. And definitely not YouTube. They'll take something down in 2 seconds. And so it's something to think about, right? It's something to think about. So kudos to that. And I wanna, yeah. There was one other thing I wanted to give a shout out. That's Kim Kardashian. Shout out to Kim. I want to give you a shout out for that. So that's dope. That's dope. Okay, so when we come back, we got another dynamic interview. I don't want you guys to go anywhere. We're gonna talk a little bit about the things this gentleman has going on. This is We Talk Weekly. I'm your boy Charles Gregg with the beautiful,
Lauren Sizzle.
and we'll be right back after this, y'all. Hola. We Talk Weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory, and the beautiful
Lauren
is
Sizzle.
definitely in the building. Why don't you let us know who do we have today? Who do we have today?
So we have the awesome Mr. S.J. Hazim. He is the man behind the writing and production of the 70th Brown versus Board compilation song Levitate, which includes over 20 talents from the Topeka, Kansas area. Picture the style of We Are the World. Topeka, Kansas played a crucial role as one of the key locations where the Brown versus Board case originated. But this is just the start for SJ. In May 2024, he will be releasing his album Synchronicity in Motion, as well as his hip hop play Rhythm of Insight, a hip hop odyssey in verse, featuring 10 classic hip hop beats with his own lyrics as a 50 years of hip hop salute, which will have multiple volumes. So SJ can be heard on Roger Ortega's Back to Kansas Top City remix, known as a staple in Topeka, Kansas. He is ready to let the rest of the world know who he is. But today he's going to let We Talk Weekly know who he is. Everybody give a warm We Talk Weekly welcome to Mr. SJ Hazim.
Hello, everyone. How y'all doing today?
Hey, my brother.
Hey.
How are you? How are you, my friend?
Man, I'm doing well. There's always changes, right? So some of the things that you guys said, there's been a few different changes, but it's all for good reasons.
Okay,
So
okay.
Tell us
So
about that.
yeah, so let's jump right into that then. Let's clear up
Yeah.
some of the changes. Yeah, for sure.
okay, we're gonna clear up some of the changes. First off, synchronous. Oh no, first off, the Brown versus Board commemoration song. So
Hmm.
there's 29 different artists on it, but the name of
Oh,
that
wow.
song is Far Too Long. It's called Far Too Long. Now we have a single out right now called Levitate, and what's
Mm.
funny is Lamont Jackson, who is the singer on Levitate, is also one of the artists on the Far Too Long song. So
Wow.
I just wanted to state that. Also, I had to push my album back 3 months.
Hmm.
So it's
Oh.
going to come out August 17th, but those are for good reasons.
Mhm.
But the video will be still going live on May 17th. And I'll share something that you guys would probably be tickled to death about because I know I am. We are talking to the event coordinator at the Supreme Court right now,
Oh wow.
to
Mm.
where we might be having a sanctioned event there by the end of this year because they have a exhibit there for Brown versus Board, and they were not aware it was the 70th. So
Mm.
yeah, it's God works in mysterious ways. So
Absolutely.
that's those are a couple changes, and also the rhythms of insight, the play and everything. I've had to push that back a little bit as well. Um, so, but those things are still going to happen. I want to give so many hip hop artists their flowers.
Yeah.
And you
Hmm.
know, I started out looping beats way back in the day before, I mean, you dual cassette decks and stuff like that. But
Mm.
now, people are real sensitive about another rapper getting on their beat, but that's hip
Yeah.
hop.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Now
So,
I appreciate the clarity. Go ahead, Sizzle. Yeah.
yeah, no, I was going to say thank you for clearing that up. Now, you said that there's 29
yeah, so we
artists.
have, we have 29 different artists on there.
Wow.
We even have a Juilliard graduate who's playing that violin, and so that was the way that they came about was amazing. That's
Mm.
a gentleman named Brendan Elliott. He actually just played the Philharmonic not too long ago, and his younger brother is the one who got this award at the Supreme Court, which was
Mm.
inroads to one of my people who had a connection with everything because he's actually connected to that family, a guy named Dr. Benjamin Morton. So
Mm.
he serves as my attorney and a partner of mine, and we'll be doing a national press run here soon. But yes, just things are falling in line. But yes, there's 29 different artists on that song.
Wow, wow.
Wow. So, what was the whole idea to come up with this track and just to incorporate all of these artists and to make it We Are the World style? Who,
Okay,
what was
so
the idea behind that?
so what happened is there's an organization and they go by the BABC. It's the Black American Blueprint Collective here in Topeka, Kansas. And there's a lot of things that they're doing right now. That we have a lot of different committees, organizations who are dedicated to doing stuff for the 70th. So they were looking to have somebody do this as far as they needed them to pick the beat out, or either make the beat themselves, get it recorded, pick the people out, write the song, pretty much everything. So I was hoping that because I got to asking, once it was Dr. Barrow New who actually approached me to see if I would do it. And then I was like, it was really cool. I was blessed, so excited to be able to have that opportunity. And then what ended up happening is as I was going through the process, I got to thinking deeply, and I was like, I wonder why they chose me. I wonder this, that. So I ended up asking, and it was funny because I didn't get the answer that I was looking for. They pretty much said, "Hey, we actually sent it out to about 5 or 6 different people, and you was the only one who
Wow.
decided you wanted to take it on." So I was thinking, hey, did they have a vision? Did God speak to them? Did this
Mhm.
happen? Like, no, none of
Wow.
that. But
Oh,
there's, I
wow.
mean, there's definitely. I mean, I'm a man about town, and man of resources and things like that. And Dr. Beryl knew is an angel, so I'll do anything for her. So this I just loved. I grew so much during this period. So.
Mm. So was it hard putting it together? Because you know that there's a We Are the World documentary out now, and I
Yes.
think it's on Netflix or Prime or something like that. And they were talking about the challenges with getting all of this together. Was it hard for you?
I'll tell you what, it was such of a process. I went through so many different things. It was about a 6-month process from the beginning to the end, and the communication. I mean, and getting the artists to record. I didn't get everybody on my wish list. There was about 3 people who I just wasn't able to coordinate with. And so there were different things that happened. There was things that fell in line that weren't even planned, like
Wow.
Robinson Middle School. We have the whole 6th grade, or at least I'll say some specific people from the 6th grade, but who formed a choir and sing the chorus. Had 2 students from Jardine. And it was just the way that it came about. It was amazing. But the biggest thing was just communication. It was the communication because with all those different people, there was, 5 people who sung together and made this harmony and everything and getting that to go. And now I'm in the middle of making the video. So I know that it looks like the video is due to be out, in just a few weeks. But I'm in a really good place with it, and then my dancers are coming out on May 9th, and we're going to get them filmed right in front of the location in the mural. And those are going to be the very final things I need to do because I shoot the video, I edit the video, I pretty much do all these things myself. So yes, it was definitely difficult. It was the scheduling, and even the writing of the song. The writing of the song. The second verse is the last thing to be completed. Because the first verse is about the past, the second verse is about the present, and the last verse is about the future. And the present is so important. It's like, what do you talk about? And so I had to think about some different things. And, like we saw the fall of affirmative action. Just, this was something we saw. We see that DEI initiatives are going away. We take our civil rights for granted until our rights vanish.
Exactly.
That took me the longest. The first verse, actually, the bridge came first. And I'll share with you what that is. It's like, we learn to sing with broken hearts. Welcome diversity with open arms. We're living the dream, but where to start? Brown was before King and Rosa Parks. So that's now they're singers singing that. I'm not a singer,
right.
But and it's so beautiful because this happened in 1954, and Brown versus Board, it put the wind beneath the wings of our future activists like Rosa Parks, who came in 55,
Yes.
Martin Luther King. And the thing is, we don't talk about it. A lot of people don't know about it. So after you hear this song, which is going to be even equipped with an introduction, so if you know nothing about it, you will know. It's so important. If we don't know our past, we are doomed to repeat it.
So since you said that, right, I want for those who are watching and don't necessarily understand or know what Brown versus Board is, can you just give a little background about that so people can kind of understand the context with which you're speaking?
Yes, absolutely. So schools were segregated all the way up until when it passed 1954, and even after that happened, schools didn't integrate. And for years later, the Little Rock Nine, that integrated in 3 years later in 57. But some places did integrate to 59. Some didn't integrate at all. So basically, before Brown versus Board of Education happened, people, if you were disabled, you couldn't even go to school. You wasn't even a thought in this whole process. But basically what happened here in Topeka, Kansas is Oliver Brown and his daughter, Linda Brown, lived right by Sumner School, but Sumner was an all-white school. So instead of being able to go to that school, she had to go to Monroe. So therefore, she had to walk, and it took her hours and things like that. By the time she came back home, she was extra tired, couldn't do this and everything else. So it was just it was one of those things to where people just wanted to be schooled where they could be, weren't getting bused. There was all kind of different things. They had something called separate but equal, meaning if there's two different facilities and they're separate, they wanted to act like they were equal, but there was so much and so many different things that just wasn't right about the whole situation. They picked out Oliver Brown to be the lead plaintiff because this occurred in 5 different states. And I guess you could say 4 different states in one area since DC was a part of it. But they thought that Topeka would be the best place to go about it because in the down south and some of the things that were going on down there, it just was what it was. But they thought that Kansas and Oliver Brown, with the tenacity that he possessed and everything else, that they would be able to be the right plaintiffs and have the tenacity to get through it, because to go through a process like this is trying. I mean, my goodness, I can't imagine everything they had to go through, and what the children had to go through. Integrating. I mean, they had basically the president ordered 1,000 paratroopers to be able to integrate when it was the Little Rock Nine to march them in because people there were threatening to kill them.
What was do you remember the date of that?
The date of the anniversary or the Little Rock Nine?
The Little Rock Nine.
I know it was in 1957.
Yeah, 1957.
I'm not sure the exact date, but I know it's in 1957. It was 3 years after the landmark decision of Brown versus Board. But I mean, just when I would see that footage, the pictures or whatever, I mean, the courage that it took just for education. So this was the decision that changed the world. So that's pretty much some of the basis of it. But this was 10 years before the Civil Rights Act. Yeah,
and it when you think of that, I'm at a loss of words because when you think of that, I also think of the Baptist Church of the 4 little girls,
right?
When they did the bombing there, just the type of treatment that little kids, I'm not talking about people like us. I'm talking about kids had to go through just to go to school, go to church, go to the supermarket, go get something to eat, during that time, 1960, I think it was 1963 when that happened. It was just very sad. And so I just wanted to put an emphasis, an underscore the context with which you're talking about this situation, this situation happening and how important it is and prominent what you're doing with regarding the video and the context that you're speaking with, how heavy that is. I just wanted to put a underscore under that. And so now that we have that, right, what was, what's your motivation now? Is it to continue activism through change with your music, with your activism, with just, you doing protesting, having conversation, paneling? What does this look like for you moving forward?
Well, I'll tell you, see, early in life, I'll say in the early 2000s, I was labeled an activist. I was actually doing those type of things. I was doing demonstrations in front of Senator Brownback's office at that point. That was before he was the governor and things of that nature. But where I'm at now, I look at myself as an activator. So I'm a community activator type of person who just connects to different things. But through music is the tool, or I'll say the vehicle for teaching. A lot of people look at music as entertainment. I look at it as edutainment, and shout out to KRS-One for that. But there's something about it. You can have a conversation about politics, but people ain't really listening. They just waiting to talk, But if you do a poem about politics, people that tune in. If you do a song about this, they'll listen, so it's like people have to be entertained. And so the way I look at rap, I mean, of course it's rhythm assisted poetry, but I look at it as revelation and prophecy. I mean, there is so much in the written word and the spoken word and things come to life if your belief is strong enough. So I don't even think that, I know that some people really appreciate music and look at it in different ways, but I look at artists as scientists. We're creating formulas to see what's going to take, what's going to come in and get somebody to percolate, because that's what it is. Because only God can change a man's mind.
Yeah.
We can plant the seed or water it, but God gives the increase. So through music is where I felt closest to God. So really hip hop and things like that is truly my religion, although I'm a believer in those things. But people out here in the world and everything else, especially people who look like us, they don't really profess their faith a whole lot or talk about God much. But through Tupac and DMX, we heard that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Even we heard some of the other things. So I think it's very important for us and people to express themselves through music. So that is, I look at two ways to glorify God: speech and service. So I serve him with speech. I continue to let my speech be my service, but I serve as well when I need to. I always do. But these are just some of the things that I say. I think the responsibility in speech is a big thing. When anybody says it's just entertainment, it's a cop-out.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave it at that. On that one, you know what I'm saying?
No, I do, and I appreciate that. And you bring up hip hop, right? Because I think that's a excellent transition to talk about some of your roots and the track that you kind of started with Tech N9ne. Let's talk a little bit about, what got you. They say, when, it's the saying, when did you fall in love with hip hop, right? And I want you to answer that. When did you fall in love with hip hop? And let's talk about that transition of you actually getting into hip hop and meeting, the hip hop artists that forming Tech N9ne and getting on that track and moving forward from there. Yeah.
So as far as with Tech N9ne, now I deal with Don Juan. Now Don Juan is, and shouts out to Tech N9ne, yes. Now we've done a lot of shows together since the '90s and stuff like that. Now we've never done material together, but Don Juan was Tech's producer all the way back to the Let's Get Effed Up song with the Kansas City sound. So right now he's the producer of Synchronicity in Motion, that song. So anyway, so yes, we're all connected up in there. I fell in love with hip hop right around the time my grandmama died. And so I'm talking about 1979, 1980. My grandmother was my confidant. I was very introverted. And I got 4 brothers and 3 sisters. Live here in Topeka, Kansas, from Kansas City originally. My family's gang related out there. My uncle was a hitman, and he killed his own significant other. My father moved us to Topeka, and not to have that influence on us like that. So basically, after my grandmother passed, I saw hip hop and videos. And the first time I saw hip hop and breakdance in the video, that's the first time I ever felt inspiration. I felt like there was fire in my bones. And I had to learn how to move like this. And it's like nothing else mattered. It was the first time in life I ever felt anything. Like really, I was just one of those kids. And I went from learning how to do that, taught my best friend. We won a couple of talent shows before the age of 8. When hip hop or when breakdancing kind of went out, I was really sad because I didn't think I'd make the transition to rapping. But then I became a closet rapper around the age of 13 and everything. And I've been rapping ever since. But yeah, hip hop, it just did something to me. It was something. I've heard all kind of different ways that people explain what, higher infinite power, healing our people, all these different things. But I tell you what, there's something about it. And I love it. And when I had to sacrifice for it, people can jump off the porch now, but when you had to wear, cut your pants up, put bandanas on, do this, people, they didn't like that. And I'm here in Kansas, you know what I'm saying? So I had to, people making fun of beatboxing, I didn't like that, I paid my dues for hip hop.
No, I like that. Since we're talking about hip hop, I'm gonna stay on that just for 1 minute because we're still in the era of 50 years of hip hop, right?
Yeah, I just turned 50.
Yeah, that's an exciting time to say that something that essentially was supposed to be a fad is now culture, right?
Yeah.
It's now culture. They're creating classes and university-based degrees around hip hop, right? And so if there was something in hip hop that truly stood out to you, what would be that one moment?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, man, I got to take it all the way back to the movie Breaking. You know, I
Mm.
went to the movie theater. That was one of the first
Yeah.
times I ever been to a movie theater.
Wow.
Sold out. And man, the whole time it was so electric. And you know, and I actually you know, through Facebook, I'm friends with and maybe we rest in peace, Shabadu's son.
Mhm.
You know, and I gotta throw this out there because I think that this lady might be from here, from Philly. We got a lady named Vanessa German
Okay.
here in Topeka, Kansas, right now, helping us with our 70th anniversary events. And the city of
Mm.
Topeka Arts Connect and Visit Topeka paid her a lot of money to come down here and do some things. So I'm on something called the Poet Operetta. It's a 50-part poet choir. And we do an event May 24th. It's a live performance. There's going to be an album created. There's going to be a video and a little mini show, maybe a mini movie or whatever. But I think that'll only be showed on the 24th. But we're going to be under Grammy consideration for this poet operetta. So, and
Mm.
when I say the you know, the city, they paid her a nice coin for different things. But so we've got so many practices. I have a practice on Monday, and then it's like for 2 weeks straight before the event, we have all these dress rehearsals. So it's going to be a big deal. But Vanessa German, she's a world-renowned sculptress, poet, and right now it's a 14 to 18-minute poem that we're doing, and it's just amazing. So right now, some of the things I'm experiencing, I just never thought that I could end up being under Grammy consideration this soon. But
Wow.
some things just kind of, you know, have fell right there. But I'll tell you, Breaking, that
Mm.
movie, when I went to the movie theater and seen it, I felt so good. I mean, there's just some moments that just stick with you. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I mean, even if you go back and you watch the movie now, it is what it is. But man, some of the stuff that went on, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, I was just, man,
Yeah.
that was a moment.
That's the one where he was dancing around a broom, right? Was
Yeah,
break. Yeah.
yeah. That one scene with Turbo when he got us, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Yeah. No
yeah.
doubt. No
Had
doubt.
that Tour de France playing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
No doubt, no doubt. So you know what's interesting is music has changed so much, right? And so, and you know, I appreciate the innovation of music. I mean, that's how music happens, it innovates. But if I was to ask you, right, what's who's your when you think of hip hop, when you think of artists, who would be in your top five? It doesn't necessarily have to be in no particular order, you know, because I know that's a challenge for some. But who would be in your top five?
Okay, so I'm gonna do it like this, and you know it's so good because I always like to switch my top five around at different times because the thing is you can pick five and there's still gonna be some others that damn sure should have been in there.
Yeah.
But what I'm thinking of, I always look at what did the people do for the whole culture. You know what I'm saying? And what are they still doing now? So I gotta put I gotta say KRS One. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
KRS One, man. I mean, you know, he is writing books on, you know, the culture. I mean, every time I hear him say something, he taps into universal wisdom and stuff. It ain't no pre-canned nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'll just say this, like, I'm not an avid book reader because I don't like to be in people's world the whole time. And it's cool. I'm not what I'm saying. I'm saying some things that a lot of people might not say because you know there's different things that have happened to me in life that have allowed me to tap into the universe in a way that some people have maybe have been afraid to let themselves go in. But that's the only way that you actually get to go in.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So anyway,
Mhm.
I support everybody reading a whole lot of books and all this other type of stuff, but you know, people have many books in them when they find out, you know, how to tap into the source of the hymns. You know, it happens before it's thought of, wrote, or spoken to men. Vulnerability is how the broken can mend. You can change the whole world from some words that you wrote with a pen.
Ah,
Mm.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
KRS One, put him out there. Scarface, Scarface.
Ah, face, yeah.
Yes.
Scarface.
Gotta get Scarface.
You
Yes.
know, and this was way before the Tiny Desk concert. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some people they just finding out how serious of a storyteller that he is, and you know what I'm saying. So throw him in there. Ice Cube,
Cube, yeah, for sure.
Ice Cube, and you see what I did there? I went from New York to Texas
Mhm.
to Cali. So already, I'm already, there's, so when I name different people, it's why I do it. But Ice Cube, he made NWA.
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and say it. You know what I'm
yeah, I
saying?
agree.
As far as he was already doing that type of music when Eazy-E met him. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? When Ren met him and everything like that. He's still out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The God MC Rakim.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
The
Yes.
God MC
Yes.
Rakim. The God
Yes.
MC Rakim. And
Hmm.
since we over here, and I know y'all representing Philly, man, we going with Black Thought.
There you go.
Oh,
Come on. You know what I'm
yes.
saying? Come on. Now,
Absolutely.
I know that was 5 different people and everything, and all of them are legends, and and I can name another 5 that are just as you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is whoever you pick, there are gonna be some things that are left out.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
those MCs, pound for pound, what all of them bring to the table is there's always education involved in what they spitting, even if it's just street education. You know what I'm saying? But it's the way it's delivered to help lift us up. You know, they say a rapper raise up himself, but an MC raise up community.
I know
You know
that's
what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah,
So I mean, at the end of the day, I love what the new people is doing. I love what they do with their overdubs. I've seen a lot of the new things that happen. So I'm not, left wing and right wing hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
I
That
got
you
you.
got all that type of stuff. We ain't never meeting in the middle. So I don't want to be the old head that just coming down on cats. I'm a rap purist. You know what I'm saying? You better really be freestyling. I know freestyle is just a written over something you haven't done it. It ain't off the head, but
Yeah,
if we going off the head, go off the head. You know
no
what I'm saying?
doubt.
So I'm
Hmm.
old school like that. What we
Look,
gonna do?
so when what's one song, right? What's the one song that when you heard it, that you like, even if you hear it today, it can be in any genre, right? But when we think in hip hop, I should say any generation. So when you think hip hop, the first song that comes to mind where you is just like, gosh, I love this song. This is what it is.
My
What's
melody.
oh
My
my check
melody.
out my melody. Ah,
My
yeah.
melody. You know what I'm saying? I take 7 MCs, put them in a
On the
line.
line.
Get 7
Yeah.
brothers who think they can rhyme. Well, it's gonna
Ah,
take 7 more before I go for mine, and that's 21 MCs ain't up at
at
the
the
same
same
time.
time. Check out my melody.
Man, I mean, it was so coming.
Yeah.
That beat come on now, it's like boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom,
Oh.
boom, 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 drip, 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 drip. Come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing is, I always got and as I gotten older and everything, I would and I ain't reaching. But
Yeah.
every now and again, somebody would say, you resemble Rakim a little bit. I'm like, oh, that was the flyest dude on 2 feet.
Yeah, for
You
sure,
know
for
what I'm
sure.
saying?
You know
So,
what? That's interesting that you said because Rakim, he's in my top 10. So, but when you think of mine is the symphony. When that song
oh,
come on, it just I mean, just that great of a time, that great of a team that was on there. I mean, it's just the lyricism alone with that amount of people on and again that song essentially made history, right?
oh man, so I was just talking about that song to
Yeah.
Don Juan
Ah.
like 2 weeks ago because and I don't want to let it out like that because I mean, but we was talking about it there. I mean, I'm like, hey, we've been discussing about some stuff that should be bought back
Yeah.
and everything. And when you're dealing with a super producer like that, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you this, there's some things that's about to become when y'all hear that synchronicity of motion, baby.
For sure.
You know, I'm just so excited. It sounds like some Dr. Dre stuff. I
I
mean,
love it.
it's crazy.
I
But
love it. I
I'm
love
in.
it.
I just love everything that's going on. I love being on this show. and y'all be holding it down.
I appreciate that, my friend. And time flew. That was almost 10 o'clock. I want you to let's quickly jump into some of the things that you have coming up now, because I want to give you the opportunity to have a platform to talk about some of the stuff that you have coming up, like that people can kind of look out for, right? And then we'll go into how can people get in contact with you.
Okay. Well, the first things that are coming up, we're in this poet operetta, which is a huge thing. I mean, things are being videotaped and everything. So if we do end up getting a nomination for a Grammy, there's going to be a lot of stuff that you guys see come next year, the 67th annual.
Okay.
So that's where a lot of my focus is going in. This video, Far Too Long, Brown versus Board of Education, hitting 70 years in less than 3 weeks.
Wow.
3 weeks away. So I'm in the midst of filming that video. And when that's done, I'm working on a platform with a couple of engineers trying to make like a new Spotify, to where you ain't got to get 300 streams to get a penny. And we're looking at calling it. It's going to be about direct to consumer. So playing with the name right now. But I've got the guys on it who know how to build this. He actually rebuilt Instagram one time just for fun.
Wow.
So the people I'm working with right now is like crazy good. But when that happens, I want to share it with you guys, because this is a platform, how we're creating it. We've been doing all the studying from Bandcamp, from Pandora to to Spotify, and what people like about it, what they don't like about different things. Because we want people to hold the power. We want artists to hold the power. We don't want them to have to use even the DistroKids and some of the other type stuff, although I'm using DistroKid right now.
Right.
Being an artist, there's different things that I look for and want. And right now, since I got these guys who got all the mind power and know how to do this and do this stuff quite often, that is something that you want to be watching for as well, because that is something that can change the game on some things. So it'll be a beta test period. I'll be the beta test person, and it will be my platform as well. And we're trying to focus on some people right here in Topeka, Kansas, and Kansas City first, and then we're gonna spread out.
I love that. Make sure you keep us in the loop of that, man. And because one thing that we always try our best to do is amplify those voices, right? Amplify the people who's doing some great work, and let the people know it's people out there doing some excellent work, right? And we understand that we have a platform, and we try our best to take responsibility to continue to support our people, support Black excellence, and give that platform. We about solutions here, right? How are we getting this thing done, and who's doing that work? And that's what we do. Yeah, for sure, my brother. Yeah,
I love that, and absolutely, I'll definitely keep you in the loop on everything that's going on with that. My whole thing is I want people to get from point A to point Z a little bit quicker.
That's right.
And I want them to be able to, manage the merch and all the other things that come about, So it's just about the information. A lot of people want to hear real thoughts and real feelings, So like that's what it's about, Just sometimes people just ain't being transparent enough.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Speaking of information, I think it's a great time for you to give us some information on how can everybody get in contact with you and all that good old stuff, brother.
Yes. So my name is S.J. Hazim. Full name is Sawab Jalil Hazim, but I'm S.J. Hazim on every platform. So just how it's spelled up here, S.J. like St. James, H-A-Z-I-M. I'm biggest on Facebook. That's where I'm really plugged in at. I'm on Instagram. I do some things on there. But those are really the only places and spaces I'm really on right now on socials. But I will be launching some of these other platforms coming about and everything else like that. And I do have a page called SJ The Finger. I am a professional wrestling manager, and I just dropped a diss track on Mr. Fitness 2 right before I came on here. So that's pinned to my post. It's called Bell Ringer.
I love that, man. Yo, we gotta get you.
That might make the album too. It might make the album.
Hey, listen, we gotta get you involved with celebrity boxing. right?
I would love to.
Absolutely. I think they would
Yes.
love that, especially if you sending diss tracks, right?
Oh, man, I said some stuff on him. I started out like this. I said, Mr. Fitness 2, it's really good to see you. You look about as good as diarrhea. And I said, my team will have you screaming, Mamma Mia, when I put these hands on you, I'ma beat you.
I know that's right. That's an excellent end point to this thing, man. Look, I want to thank you for coming to the show. Listen, man, you know, we like you so much. One thing we say on the show is once you come to the show, you're a friend to the show, so you're always welcome to come back, right? And so that's one of the invitations that we give. And so, you just reach out to, our booking specialist, Sheila, and she'll make sure that you're back and involved in everything. But also, you have a lot of things that you're doing, man. And so I want to make sure that you put on your radar to be to pop up every now and then. you know?
I tell you what, I would love that because like I said, I've been on a lot of shows. Katrina and the whole team, Kick Up Your Heels out there in Canada, been hold me down. I mean, I got another interview tomorrow. I've had like 7 in the last probably 9 or 10 days, but this one right here, all of them been different, but I'll say this has probably been the most professional, with how things are set up. I see how you sitting over there, you know what I'm saying? All y'all look good, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all professional. I watched a couple of the other things that y'all had prior to this coming on, so I can know what to expect a little bit. But yeah, I would love to come back.
Fantastic, man. Yo, I really like you, my brother. So make sure that you keep us in your Rolodex. And again, you always a friend to the show, man. And ladies and gentlemen, I love it. SJ Azim is definitely in the building. Your boy Charles Gregory with the beautiful
Lauren Sizzle.
And that was our show today, ladies and gentlemen. We out here like last year. We'll see you next week, next Saturday. Make sure you tune in 8 to 10 p.m. Philly in the building. And we out here like last year, y'all. Peace.
Peace.